Hello everyone, welcome to asteriskonvps.com videos, tutorials. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to configure A2billing and Freepbx so that you can make your first call. Okay, in this server here, I've installed A2billing and Freepbx. So the first thing you need to do, let me delete this. If you this, okay. Right. So the first thing you need to do here is to link your Freepbx to A2billing. So we will create a trunk that links both Freepbx and A2billing. In case you want to create any SIP accounts in your Freepbx. So this is the trunk that we are going to create. This is the string. You can use any name here, but I just want to use this so that I can quickly see it. Then here you can put a tail plan here, then you submit. Okay, there you are. Now we have created the custom trunk that links your Freepbx with A2billing. Okay, now there are two things here. If you have a trunk, if your VoIP provider provides you with IP authentication, there is no need for you to put the trunk details in Freepbx. You can just put them in your A2billing and just redirect your A2billing traffic to your provider, to your provider's IP. But so I'm going to show you both creating a trunk through registration, and then creating a trunk through IP authentication. Okay, so normally a provider will give you the trunk details that you need to use. So for this provider here, we are going to try to use the trunk details that he has provided for us here. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to add a trunk. This time we are going to add a SIP trunk. Last time we added a custom trunk, but this time we are going to add a SIP trunk. So let's call this provider 1. Allow all the calls. Then provider 1. Okay. Then I'm going to paste the information that we got from there. Okay. So that's the username, or that's the secret. If you've got a different username and a different secret, you just replace this with your username and your secret, and here you will replace with your host IP. Okay. Then here we are going to do something here. Okay. What I'm going to do here is your username, right? This is your username. You put it in front here, paste colony, then you take your password. Paste, right? Then you take your host name, the host name or the host IP address. So it's 8. Your host IP address or your host whatever. Okay, now take your username. You can leave this empty, but you can if you leave it empty, also remove this /, but you can also put it here. Some providers do not register if you don't put that last number there, right? So you can actually get here to see on your Freepbx status, right? IP trunks online, 2. IP registered registrations, it's 1. So one of the trunks is registered, and for you to be able to see which trunk is registered, you need a module called *info. I'm going to look for *info. Okay. Okay, while I'm here, I can as well install this *zip settings. Okay, process, confirm. Okay, now when you go to your *info, now you can actually see to peers, you can actually see this is provider 1, and that is his IP, and it's registered. This it's actually registered, right? Now if okay, we can go back to our trunks, or we can go to connectivity, outbound route, create an outbound route now. You can call it anything. Let me just call it out, and I want all the calls of any types to pass through. Then I'm going to choose, instead of choosing provider 1 here, I'm going to choose local, because I want to send it to A2billing. But if I want to just call to that provider directly without billing, I'll choose provider 1. But now I'm going to choose A2billing here. Then I'm going to submit. Okay. So if I create any SIP accounts in Freepbx, they will use this outbound trunk to send calls to A2billing. But if you are creating your SIP accounts in A2billing, then there's no problem. You can just use your SIP accounts in A2billing. Okay. Now let's log into our A2billing. Okay, root, the default password is change password, right. Okay, they are now. Okay, for us to start making a call, we need a provider. We need to specify a provider in A2billing. We need to specify a rate card. We need to specify a rate and a call plan, and then we need to have a customer that is assigned to that call plan. So those are the steps that you need to take for you to be able to make your first call in A2billing. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is to create my provider. add my provider here. Provider. Our provider is provider 1. Okay. All right. Trunk. I'm going to create a trunk, but this trunk, okay. Our trunk is in Freepbx. We have already mentioned it in Freepbx. If I can just open Freepbx on the side. We already have our trunk here. The one that we want to use is in Freepbx. It's called provider 1. Right. So now when we create a trunk here, we just label it. You can label any name here. I'm going to just put it provider 1, but you can put any name here for the label. Then provider technology, it's SIP. If your provider is using IAX, you can just put IAX, right? Provider IP. Now, instead of putting an IP address, like here we saw that our IP address for this was this. But if you have specified your trunk in Freepbx, then you don't put an IP address. You put this name. Specifically, it's this name. That's what you put. But you copy that exactly the way it is with the spelling and everything. You put it here, right? Now, it's then you confirm. Everything else is default, and you confirm, right? That's it. Now, we are going to create a call plan. Add a call plan. Right. Let's call it call plan 1. Remove prefixes. This one will remove it's self-explanatory here. It will remove the 00s or 011 before matching it to the rate if a customer uses 011 or 00. Okay. And we create a rate card. I'm going to call it a rate card 1. Rate card 1. I'm going to select a trunk for that rate card. And that trunk we have already created is called provider 1. Right. Now, okay. The next thing is I'm going to create a rate. You can import the rates. If you've got a bunch of rates, you can import them. But now I'm just going to create one rate. Okay. The rate that I'm going to create for is South Africa. So I'm going to write 27. You can create any rate if you have any country that you want. So, okay, sorry. So it's 27, right? That's the prefix, destination prefix. My buying rate, let's say my buying rate is 0.02, right? My selling rate is 0.025. Okay. Now, I can choose my trunk here to be provider 1 and leave everything as default. Okay. There you are. I now have a rate to South Africa. It will tell me that the rate is for South Africa. Okay. Now, I'm going to create a customer. Going to create a customer. Add customer. Right. The customer will be generated. You can change this if you want. maybe let me say 2544, and you can change this if you want. Let's say demo 123. Okay, then you can put initial amount if you want, or you can leave it at 0. Here you can put anything. Right, or you can just leave it blank. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure you select the core plan, right? And if you are going to use this to create a SIP account in A2billing, then you can check this create a SIP config, yes. If you also want to create an IAX config, you can say yes. So now I'm going to leave that as default and confirm. So this is the account that has been created, and on this account you will see that if you go to VoIP settings, this guy we have created a SIP account here. But if you are using this, I suggest you go here. If you're normally, if you are using CentOS 6, it's very difficult, or if not impossible, to enable asterisk real time. So you go here, real time. Okay, real time. Searching for real time. So instead of use asterisk real time, yes, go to no. So if you put no, every time you manually create a SIP account, you need to generate the SIP config here in order for you to write to asterisk. This is called the reloading asterisk. Right. Okay. Now, once it is the account, once you have reloaded, then the account has been written in your asterisk. Okay. Now, something else that I want to check here. When you have created your core plan, you will see that we created our core plan, we created our rate cards. But if you go back to your core plan and click edit, you will see that our core plan now needs, the rate card is not yet associated with the core plan. So you click here, add rate card. Otherwise, the customers in that core plan will not be able to be matched to any rate. Now, if you want to see that everything is fine, you go here, and then 27 is our rate that we have, and the customer is customer number 1. If you simulate, if everything is fine, then you should be able to get this, right? You should be able to get these results of simulation. But let's say if something was wrong, let's say on the core plan, let's suppose on the core plan we didn't have a rate card. I'm going to delete that. If we didn't have a rate card, now if I try to simulate for the same customer, this number, this prefix, the customer is customer number 1. If I try to simulate, you find that no matching rates found. Why? Because the customer is in a core plan that does not have any rates. So this is very important. Sometimes you create your customer, you create everything, and then you forget to associate the rate card to the customer, and then you find that you are not making any calls. Calls won't go through. If your simulator is working fine, it means your calls will go through to the trunks. The trunk might, if the trunk is not set properly, it might reject the call, but the call will definitely go through to the trunk. You see? Now it's simulating. Okay. Now we have created everything that we need, and okay, so we can now try and make a call. Now, to make a call, I'm going to use Zoiper. Okay, settings, preferences. Okay, I'm going to edit that one, and my IP address is this. My IP address is 1 and this, right? My username, you go to don't go to the customer, because this is not where your SIP account is. Go to VoIP settings, right? On the VoIP settings, you will find the username. Copy. That's the username. And then you'll find the password, secret, right? Then you try to register. Okay, we didn't check to see whether it registered, but it's registered already. But now okay, initially it will be like this. So when you enter your it will be like this, register. Okay, when you enter your credentials, you must press register. If you press register, you will see it's registered, and then it will make a tick on that account. Okay, it's okay. Now let's use that same account. Okay. This is the account, right? Okay. Now, if I put 27820867257 and make a call. Okay, now it tells me the amount that I have in my account, and because I didn't specify DNID, yes, yeah, DNID, yes, it is asking me to enter the number. But if I want it to just send the number that I have dialed without asking me to enter again, I'll just put DNID equals to yes. Okay, now I can call the same number. Now it says you have $10, and it tells me you have 400 minutes, and then it starts ringing to the provider. Okay, this call is not going to go through. It says the number you have dialed is currently unavailable. This call is not going to go through because I do not have an account with them, and the only number that we should hang up. The only number that we should dial on this test is a number that is given on their site. This where is it? Oh, this number 97. Okay, 0000. Okay, right. Maybe I should just try to put that number in our rates. Okay, my rate, add a rate. Okay, let's say 97. I don't know what that 977 0.02 0.03 provider one. Okay, okay, right. Now I've got that 97 as a prefix. I can now try to call their test number and see if we can get anywhere. You see, now we have reached their you see, now we have reached their IVR, so it's working. So this is our first call. We have made our first call. It's working. All right. Suppose you were having a provider that only uses IP authentication. It is very easy to change here. All you need to do is to go to the IP, to the trunk, and instead of using here where it says provider IP, instead of using this the name of the trunk which is in Freepbx, you just use the IP address, and that's it. So that's how you do your things, and then when you have done this, you have made your first call. Okay, thank you for watching, and let's meet again in other videos. I'm going to post this video on YouTube so you can all be able to watch it. Okay.